Deliora giving Gray a run for his money in this chapter. I mean, like, Gray done tried practically everything in this one, and nothing's working on this monster, Deliora. Very basic chapter this week, in all honesty. For the most part, the entirety of the chapter was Gray versus Silver, and pretty much just Gray trying everything possible to put Silver down, or Deliora. I'm gonna change between the two, Silver, Deliora, same motherfucker, but, well, obviously not the same, but you get what I mean. This whole chapter was just really, first of all, showing that Deliora, from the very beginning that he was mentioned, he truly is nothing to fuck with. I mean, Gray tried every single attack possible on him, and nothing is working. And I like how he is just going beyond, and it just wasn't a typical, you know, I'm gonna suck this all up and I'm gonna use it on you. It's really showing that his back is against the wall at this particular point, because he's tried, you know, Cold Excalibur, he tried the cannon, he tried everything. He even tried that new technique that he learned during the Sun Village arc, and nothing is working against Silver. But there's some questions definitely that arose with this one. Again, even when Julia was talking to Keith, she was basically saying, why would somebody that is a demon slayer join a bunch of demons? And once again, that goes back to my theory that Silver isn't, or Deliora isn't completely evil at this particular point. There's something more to him. I truly believe that there's, even if it's a hint of good in him, whether it be Gray's father somewhat inside of him, or when, you know, she had him trapped in ice and maybe he was revived with a piece of her in him, there's something there that is keeping him slightly away from just being a complete monster. Because it's interesting as well to see that he has like a normal mind, in a sense. Like, you know, he can be sort of civil, because when we seen Deliora in the beginning of the story, he was just a rampaging beast, you know, just killing everything left and right. And with this one, he's more sort of calm. I don't know if that was just because when Deliora goes crazy, he don't give a fuck, and that's maybe one of those times when he was rampaging through Gray's area and Or's area and everything. Maybe these people inside of him, maybe Silver, is keeping him a little bit at bay. Not quite sure why Devil Slayer magic would be resistant to ice, because, like, it's against devil slaying, but whatever. I will say though that I truly think that there is some sort of weakness to Deliora at this particular point, because at the end of the day, while I want to believe there's a possibility that Hiromashima would do something like fuck Gray over and turn him into just a statue of ice, I'm not gonna buy into it at the moment right now, because the closest we've gotten to something lately to that nature was, I mean, we got some of the council to die, we got people fucked up, but in all honesty, I think Ultir turning into an old lady is probably the closest thing we got to one of the characters getting, like, truly messed up, because, I mean, that's pretty fucked up to lose your youth in an instant and turn into an old lady. So the fact that Gray is seemingly getting pushed to the wall to use that particular technique to, you know, turn himself into ice to cover Deliora, I just don't buy it at the moment. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think what might happen is either his friends might come and help him, and then they'll all team up against Deliora, because at the end of the day, he's resistant against ice magic, not every other magic. So maybe they can work together, ice, water, and fire, Julia, Natsu, and Gray or something. Maybe they can do some sort of combination. Either that, or Gray is going to have to do some typical shonen stuff, but in a sense, it'll work in this particular point, because this is his mortal enemy. This is the guy that ruined his life, killed his parents, you know, took everything away from him, and even took, you know, his master Or away from him as well. So maybe he'll unlock some sort of hidden potential, or maybe he can even absorb some of the Devil Slayer magic. I mean, again, we've seen Natsu eat all sorts of elements and everything, so maybe it's a possibility he can eat some sort of Devil Slaying magic that Deliora uses. And also, when Gray was absorbing the ice and he was using that technique to make it pass through his body, there was a little panel of Deliora sweating a bit, and he looked a little bit worried. Now, unless he was fucking around, which I highly doubt he was fucking around at this particular point, because he was actually questioning, like, what are you doing? That shows that Deliora isn't impenetrable. There has to be some sort of chink in his armor, and I think that Gray will possibly find that out in next week. That's probably what's going to happen. Either he's going to get some sort of power up, some power boost, or he's going to find out there's a weakness to Deliora and exploit it immediately. Either way, for the most part, simple chapter, good chapter. I like that. It's actually focusing on the battle, and Gray is doing everything he possibly can, and is still to no prevail against Deliora. Deliora's like, yo, you're going to feel the true fear, and after that, I'm going to kill Leon, and I'm going to kill all your friends. Like, Deliora is being a villain, and I like that. He's just being a cutthroat. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to kill everyone, and you're going to fucking sit there in agony. And that's some good shit. So overall, good chapter for the most part. 7 out of 10. Didn't do too much in the progression aspect, but overall giving some great exposition as to just what the fuck type of situation Gray is in, and is also making things a lot more high stakes for the fact that Gray is looking like he has to use that technique. Again, I don't buy it that he will use that technique because I just don't see Mashima getting rid of one of his main characters unless he does it, and then at some particular point, maybe an arc or two in the future, there's the Rescue Gray arc, and they're trying to find a cure for him as well, something along the lines of that. But we'll just have to wait and see. Overall, 7 out of 10, good chapter. I like that. Deliora is just showing that he's a true villain. He's going to do everything in his power, and not much that Gray can do is working. So it's not going to be just a typical friendship right now at the moment. Something is going to have to come. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think? Is there a possibility that Gray can find some sort of weakness in Deliora and exploit it? Also, the fact that Deliora went and joined a demon guild, even though he's a demon slayer. Do you think that that's Silver inside of him, or pushing him to do some of these good things, or he's slightly not as evil as he used to be? And just your overall thoughts of the chapter. Every once in a while, it's good to get a nice little knockout battle, and this was one of them. I really enjoyed it. It was really showing that Gray is up against the wall and Deliora is not going to go down without a fight. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, you can do so as well. That'd be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.